Pam. Hi,
Hi.
Alex. How are you?
Hi. Good.
Dennis,
How are you?
Oh, awesome. Pam, nice to see you again. Alex, nice to see you, well, better in the flesh, I suppose. I've
Yeah.
looked at all your Instagrams. Following,
we're
obviously.
glad to be here.
You two were meant to be together, right?
We were meant to be together. Unfortunately, my husband went on a trip, and although he's been double vaccinated, he contracted COVID. And so I've delayed my trip for a little bit to make sure that I don't get it. So
Is he okay, though?
yeah, he's doing well. Yeah, doing well.
Fantastic. Let's give it a minute and see if anyone else joins. What we find is most people will love the replays. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
they watch it at 2 times speed and stuff.
I would absolutely be that person.
So would
it's
I,
strange.
yeah.
We had we did a couple this week, and on average it's like 2 to 3 people to about 25 people, so it really varies. But our replays and that are about 400 or 500. So it's like, okay,
Yeah,
well,
no, I would never show up for the live, but I would do the replay.
But don't worry, I edit this, so this part's not in the replay. Fantastic. Well, let's maybe just get started. So, guys, welcome. This is Interview with Entrepreneurs, and today we're chatting with Pam and Alex from Travel Hacking Mom. And I'm actually really excited to actually chat to you guys because you guys travel the world on points. Now, I travel a lot. I've traveled 30 odd countries and I have never done it on points. Okay. And I've got cards and I've got all of these. I know I've got points, because I get these little statements and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Just I kind of like throw it on the side, kind of thing. So I'm really excited to travel, to chat to you guys about how you actually do it and how you guys actually created this little business around, or I wouldn't say so little business. I mean, you've got, almost 90,000 followers, I think, on Instagram.
Exactly.
Not so small business, in terms of actually teaching people how to travel the world on points. I think that's really exciting. So guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, tell me about Travel Hacking Mom. What is that?
Alex started it, so I'll let her go. She started and she roped me into coming on board.
Yes. So it was a lot of work doing it by myself. So I'm like, Mom, do you want to do this with me?
Always go to your parents first, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So basically, I learned about how to travel using credit card points from this blog that just taught it in a very succinct, easy to understand way. So I started doing it, and then all these friends of mine were like, how in the world are you doing this? You need to, teach us how to do this. And I went to go and find that blog that I learned from, and it didn't exist anymore.
Oh.
They stopped doing it. Yeah, they stopped doing it. So what I found was in our space, it was mostly men who were doing this for a very long time, at a very, very high level that wasn't really tailored to a beginner. So I couldn't find what I was looking for to share with my friends. So I said, well, I guess I'll just start this and do a blog and make it for beginners. And I didn't do it very long by myself before I jumped in and asked my mom. My mom travels way more than I do because I have 4 little kids. My mom's retired, so she has much more time to go and travel. And I thought, and when I told her about the credit card stuff, I knew she was going to be way into it because she was already kind of in the coupon world.
Okay.
And she kind of went next level with it and has done some really amazing stuff. So she was the perfect person to join me on the journey.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I must say, I've traveled a lot. In any given year, well, pre-COVID, probably looking at in miles now. Obviously, we need to convert that into miles. It's probably about 150,000 miles or so.
Wow.
And
you need to get in our game.
I know, right? I was looking at this stuff. I was like, I am signing up for this because I don't understand it. Though when I look at my cards and that, I notice there's a whole bunch of these points and things on. But again, like you said, it's just like, it seems like there's nothing that really explains, well, this is actually how you use it. How do you, yeah, sure, I'm getting points each time I do a transaction or something. It means nothing to me at the end of the day. It's like, oh, well, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with this crap. Yeah,
exactly.
But I'm pretty sure I can go to Hawaii one of these days, like you guys.
Oh, exactly. I just got back from Greece and Italy with my sister. We spent over 2 weeks there, and we both flew in business class, lay flat seats, stayed in amazing hotels, and hardly spent any money. So it was, I got her on board with it, and it was, I've been able to travel all over the world with points and miles.
I'm absolutely loving it. So I've got a couple of questions. So prior to these interviews, what we did is we sent out a bunch of questions that people wanted to know about the 16 ladies that we're interviewing over the next 4 weeks. And one of the questions is, how did you get started? In other words, how much did it cost you? Was this like to get started here, to write that blog and to actually get your business going to a point of where you were actually making money from it? I mean, how much did you have to invest in this? How did you get started? Was this an expensive exercise? Was it like $100,000 you had to go and put in to get this started? Or was it, well, you could?
No, it was like hundreds of dollars. It was very cheap to get started. Basically bought a couple courses. We did invest in some courses, and that was huge. But a lot of this stuff, like creating a website and doing all that, you can find a lot of this on the internet to teach you how to do it.
Exactly.
So I mean, we bought a domain, and that was that, and a course of how to like start a blog was really all we needed out of the gate. I think we maybe spent like $200 to $300 starting out. And then since then, we've spent more money, but it really hasn't been much. Now we're at a point where we're making money. So we put money back into the business to grow and do things. But it's been really great because we didn't have to, it wasn't a huge risk to do this for us.
Okay. So one of the questions is how did you get your first clients in terms of, I mean, well, we're going to cover two aspects there. How did you grow your following so big, so fast, right? That's the one question. And the second question is, well, how did you monetize that to get those first clients and stuff in?
I'd say that the way that it grew so fast, like we went for years at maybe, a few thousand people. And that's all it was. And Alex and I were on a trip using points and miles in Florida with her sisters. It was a girls' trip in April. And we got really excited because all of a sudden we saw that we were growing quite substantially. And we said, we're going to get to 10,000. And this was April, mind you. Now we're at almost 90,000. So in April, we were like, this is crazy. We are going to actually reach 10,000. We were so excited every day. We were looking at the Instagram to see how much we'd grown by, and we were just getting so excited over it. And what we think really attributed to our success and our growth was Reels on Instagram. And Alex is a genius on Reels.
I've watched it. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, she's got great acting abilities. She puts one out every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm part of our business, but I can't wait till Tuesdays and Thursdays come out to see what she puts out. And she put out a few that went viral, and that just really made our audience grow. And then she also opened up TikTok and started doing some things on TikTok, and that also helped our audience grow. And so not that many months ago, we were so excited to hit 10,000 followers, and now we're edging on 90,000. And it's blown our mind, really. We have absolutely.
It keeps growing exponentially at the end of the day.
And we just throughout these years, because we've been doing it. What do you think, Alex? 3 to 4 years?
It'll be 3 years in January since we launched the blog and the website and started Instagram.
And we weren't making much money at all up until 4 or 5 months ago. But we would continually put out content. We'd write, a couple posts on our blog a week. We'd continually do that. Alex would continually post on Instagram. I would post on Facebook. We kind of divide up our duties. And we just really kind of feel like just continually hanging in there, finally paid off. And we weren't getting money, but we would get people that would sign up under our links, and we'd get some credit card points and miles personally. And that was worthwhile to us. We thought, hey, we'll do this forever, just getting that. We don't even care if we get paid. This is great because we love to travel. And so then now we're getting a good income, and we're just like blown away by it.
Well, that's fantastic. I think, that's the subject of this interview, isn't it? Perseverance brings results. I think too many entrepreneurs, we start off and we think, well, listen, we're going to do a couple of posts on Instagram. We're going to get up to like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers. And it's going to be quick. We're going to do this in 1 or 2 months, and, we're going to rock this 10,000. It's not a problem, because the problem is the misconception on places like Instagram. Oh, get to 1 million followers in 30 days, all of these little courses.
Yes.
And the crap that you see. It's like,
yeah,
you got to be realistic as well, because I think it's also about quality. It's not about quantity. It's about actual quality of people that are actually going to interact and engage with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Too. It's not just about the numbers at the end of the day. I've got a Facebook group that I had prior to the Upstart one, which I'm using now, which is about 70,000 entrepreneurs, but I don't use it anymore. I completely have abandoned it, because it was just too much management. There were too many of the wrong people on the group that it just didn't become viable. And whereas the group I have now, I know that over 70% of those are actual clients and stuff that are, so it's a nice tight-knit group, and, we can kind of communicate in that. So perseverance, consistent perseverance for basically, to get to where you are now, 3 years of perseverance to get to where you are now. That's fantastic. I've got a question about, obviously, partnerships and family partnerships, right? Because come on, just mom and daughter here. How does that work?
I have to tell you
who's the boss?
Alex is the boss, and I absolutely am happy to let her be the boss. She started this, and I am happy to let her be the boss. But we do have a funny story, because when you start doing better, you start getting these offers, and some of these offers are kind of crazy, and most of the offers are pretty crazy. So we got an email from a TLC show called Smothered, wanting to know if we'd be interested, since we're a mother-daughter duo, interested in trying out or having them promote us. And that's all about mothers who smother their children. And I'm going, they don't even know our relationship, which is really good in working together. Yeah. And yet they want us to do this thing. And it was like, oh my goodness, those things are totally bogus if they are going to come at us with it, because we actually work really well together.
That is awesome.
We do.
Perfectly fine with Alex being the head of it.
That's fine. And, as long as the boundaries are defined in the beginning, I think, I've worked with my father and my mother, and okay, I might have fired my mother, but it went well with my father.
Well, Alex may fire me because I make a few goofs sometimes, and
I won't ever fire her.
Oh, my mums are quite different. She's very much like, she needs to take control of everything. She's one of those, like, she doesn't understand you've been doing this for 20 years. So what happens when you do have that kind of clash, and that is it kind of like, you understand that business is business, and personal is personal, or because come on, there must be times where you kind of don't agree. How do you sort that out? How do you resolve that? Because that's always one of the questions that come up, is what's the best way to resolve it with a family member in business, when you kind of don't agree, but you don't know, should I say something, or should I keep quiet? Maybe Alex,
you answer that, Alex, because you've probably been more frustrated with me than I've ever been frustrated. I've never been, So when I do something that's stupid.
You know what? I think the only things my mom does sometimes is maybe like a technology error, because she's just a little older than me, and so there's a more of a learning curve, I would
Of
say.
course.
But she's actually extremely savvy. Like she's very with it, with, you know, where technology is at and everything. But there's just a couple of times where she might like post something on on our Instagram that she meant to post on her personal page. And I'm like, what are you doing? So it's fine, because my mom's like, we're both pretty easygoing people. So it works out really well. We have some pretty similar personality traits, I would say. I'm a little bit more of a perfectionist with this business. I'm not a perfectionist in real life at all. I'm like, okay, got it, get it done. We're moving on. But I feel like I've just invested so much time and energy into this
It becomes your
that
baby.
I get
Baby.
yeah, it's for sure. It's for sure my baby. And so sometimes it's hard for me to let go of control with some aspects of this. But I've realized that it's going to make things a lot easier for me if I do. So for the longest time, I did everything on Instagram, and we were getting so many DMs all the time, and I couldn't keep up with them all. I mean, when we would go when a video would go viral, I'd be getting, there was one in particular got like 10 million views.
Wow.
And I had all these messages coming in, and I was getting 100 a day. And my Instagram messages, I'd get done with like 50 of them, and then, oh, there's 50 more. And so I was like, my mom said, why don't you let me help with the messages? Let me help answer some of these DMs.
Yes.
And I said, okay, I guess so. You can do it. Because I was just like, Instagram, I was the one I started the Instagram account with nothing, and I'd gotten it to, at this point, we were probably like 60,000. And I was just so kind of afraid to let that go. But
I had to prove myself, Dennis.
she did. She proved herself.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's her job.
So I think that's the only thing sometimes, is my mom isn't as much of a perfectionist, and I kind of have to learn to kind of just let things go, and it's gonna be fine. And she does a great job, and just kind of, you know, not worry about things so much. She does a lot more of the blog and writing our post. And then I go through and I edit them. And when I have my perfectionist tendencies come out, I make the changes I want. And as far as I know, she doesn't care. She's like, sure, you change whatever you want.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that kind of partnership. So you were talking about DMs and that coming through, which, you know, one of my questions is, how do you connect with your clients in a meaningful way? I mean, given your business is completely 100% online, really, you know, how do you create that meaningful connection, whether it's through your social media or even the people that do your course?
Well, one of the things that we really try to do is we try every day to answer all of our DMs. So we are constantly on there. And so I think that a lot of people really appreciate the fact that we are right there answering their questions. We get people say, oh my goodness, I can't believe you answered me so quickly. Thank you so much. Alex has actually had people say, oh, I want to be your friend. You know, we just really try to create this friendship. You know, we tell people it's beginners. We tell them we love to hold their hands. We want to walk them through this process. We do some consults, and where we meet people. We don't charge very much for these consults, but we establish a rapport with these people so that they really stay with us.
Okay.
And so that's, I think, some of the ways that we really connect with our clients.
I think we just try to be very personable with them. And in our space, like if someone were to go try to learn about this on Reddit or other Facebook groups, people are really mean.
They are.
they can be really mean, and they're like, you should know this already. That's a stupid question. And so we just try to be we are here for you. We will answer your questions and do a lot of hand holding. And it takes time, but it's actually not as time consuming as I would have thought. So I think we just try to be super personable with people and establish a relationship.
Builds a lifelong customer for you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of sites are impersonal. I mean, I've been on a lot where I want advice on things, and yeah, and the people are rude, but you should know this, or, I don't have the time to tell you about this, or whatever the case is. They always want to focus on what you must do, but not the how you must do it, And as a beginner, like even if coming with travel hacking, I would be a complete newbie. I wouldn't even know where to start, and it would terrify me. It's like, oh, I do not want to go through someone just telling me, okay, just go do this one thing and that's it. No, I want you, hold my hand, take me through it.
We love complete newbies. We just had a consult with a girl this week and she didn't know anything. And we were just so excited when we got through because she was excited about starting and we were excited to help her start. And there's nothing we like better than hearing that people have taken what we've taught them and gone on a great trip.
Oh, that's fantastic. So just a quick question. How much do you guys travel every year?
I probably
how often, rather. Let's rather say how often. I mean, Pam, I'm looking at your stuff. You're away all the time.
Without COVID, I definitely would be traveling at least every other month. And I'd say I probably travel more like 8 times a year. And yeah, so I travel a lot, but I am a retired nurse and I have the time to do it. And I just love traveling. So this hobby, this business was tailor-made for me.
Yeah, it's a hobby that's really turned into a business. I mean, that's amazing. I love that. And it's perfect freaking, I love travel. I'm like addicted to it.
Oh, me too.
So marketing, let's talk marketing. Now, obviously you're doing organic marketing in terms of using reels and stuff, which is funny enough. It's one of the trends that have come up, especially over the last few months. It used to be posts and then it was stories and now it's reels, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the importance of reels, versus stories, because a lot of people are scared to do reels, right?
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs that I speak to, they're really terrified of doing reels and that. And they say, no, but I'll just do the posts. I'll just post the story. And so, I'm also one of I just don't have the time to go and do reels. Well, I wouldn't know how I would put my business into a reel, but put it that way. Maybe I'm just not creative enough from that perspective. But talk to me about why reels, work better.
Yeah. Well, when Instagram comes out with a new thing, they reward people doing those things. Like that's where their algorithm is gonna favor reels.
Yes.
The nice thing too about like if you're posting in your stories, the only people that are gonna see that are the people that are already following you. And so you're not gonna grow through your stories. You're gonna build a good rapport with your own audience. But reels are so great is because they publish it out to everybody and they put it in the Explorer, they put it, just on the reels feed. And then as people interact with it, if they like it, they're going to push it out to more people and then more people. So it just has so much more potential for growth than, a post with some hashtags that you hope somebody sees. Reels are just already going to get pushed out to other people that aren't in your audience.
So is it important using hashtags and stuff on reels?
I do, but I'll be honest with you. Like I hear all this stuff about, use hashtags. And I don't really do it because I think it's time consuming.
Exactly.
And I'm also like, I'm like, it's time consuming and I have to do all this research and I don't even know if these really work because I use them, but I don't do any research. I'm like, okay, well, this video is about this. I'll throw some out there. I never look at my hashtag analytics. Like I have no clue if they're working or not because I'm like, I don't really feel like I need them because I'm doing well growing through the reels. So I'm like, I'm not going to put all my time into that when I can just keep doing reels and that's working for me. So, yeah.
I like that. I mean, I agree 100% with that. So you don't do any paid advertising at all for your courses. Everything's free, organic.
So with our course, we created the course with we have a partner that we did it with, so he made the video and he does all the advertising, so we just showed up with the content and he filmed us, he put it all together, he markets it for us, and so it's been really nice because we do nothing and every month we get a check.
Oh wow.
It's been great.
And it was nice because he found us. He found us and said, hey, I've been wanting to add a travel hacking video to my list of courses. I think he found Alex because of the reels.
Yes.
And got in touch with her, and it's just been the best passive income. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
sorry, go
the
ahead.
downside is, I mean, he takes a cut of the money, but we didn't have the time to create a professional level video that he put out for us.
Yes.
And then he does all the marketing side and he pays for the marketing. So we don't, the money we make, we don't have to pay for the marketing, which is nice. And we didn't have to like really have to learn how to do all the marketing stuff. So that's been really great. I mean, I started my TikTok account to kind of not promote the course, but to get my name out there and then hopefully have people buy the course.
Yes.
So I think that has helped. In our TikTok account, I think I started it in May or June and it's up to 70,000. So TikTok
Wow.
has grown really fast as well.
Oh, that is amazing. Now, courses, now, I mean, do you think the courses are the way to go? I mean, consider the courses are currently generating, if I remember the last statistics, just over $1 billion a day is spent on online courses in the world. I mean,
I totally think they're great.
nuts.
I mean, we've bought a bunch. Yeah.
That is absolutely crazy. I mean, I've also got online courses and that. I mean, I've kind of pushed my stuff to very much online courses. My mentorship and stuff is kind of like my sideline, but my courses are my core baby. But again, it's also, it's revenue coming in that I don't really, I've done it once, I've set it up, and yes, I do the updates and that obviously, and maybe a few accountability sessions, but other than that, it's a nice little income, like Pam says, it's a nice little income at the end of the month. I've got just over 3,600 students that just keep doing these things, so it just works so smoothly. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs out there should actually be focusing on creating that kind of content that you can put out there and monetize it in the sense of courses, whether you're going to go and create the course or you're finding someone who can create it for you and you're just providing them with that content, etc., and take a percentage then rather, it's still a very nice little income at the end of each month, that you're guaranteed that you're getting in, that you don't have to do anything for. So
it would have taken us years to be able to create a course, and it wouldn't have come out near as nice as the course that he did for us. So we are just really extremely happy that he reached out to us and that we did that.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I did it myself, and yes, it took about 9 months to get the very first version out. It was ridiculous, but now at least I know how to do it in like 30 days or something. But
yes, the first time you do anything, it's always the hardest.
It was absolutely crazy. So, I mean, your business doesn't really sound like work. It sounds like fun, to be honest with you. I mean, does it feel like work to you, or at all at any time?
There's times, yeah, like it is really fun, but I feel like we have a lot of things we want to do to grow. I feel like we've had these goals and we've had things we wanted to do, but we haven't even dialed in our business yet. We've kind of just been focused on, okay, let's grow on Instagram, let's get more readers to our blog, let's help people figure this out. But we haven't, we want to create now like some mentorship programs, and we want to create a community, even more of a community where people are, maybe we're working with someone for a year in groups together and things like that. So we haven't really, I feel like we've had a lot of success, and it's really exciting because we haven't really even dialed in exactly what our business model is going to be. So that's what the whole purpose of my mom coming out this weekend is like, okay, we're going to dial everything in and figure out, kind of make some of these goals happen. Because sometimes it's hard because we do live in different states.
Of course.
And so we need to, our thing is we're going to get together every couple of months now, at least, and, take some of these things we've been talking about for so long and put them into action.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, you've got so much potential, Sorry, Pam?
So we're going to, we realize that Alex has got these little kids. She's got 4 cute little boys. I love them. I want to be around them all the time. But when we're trying to strategize, it becomes hard for us to do work. So we're actually planning to go to a hotel for 2 days and just us, her husband's watching the kids and she and I are just working, all day long, 2 days straight, to, on a regular basis now to just strategize and build the business.
You should definitely, and the best is a place that that isn't home. I normally do it with a couple of people that I mentor. We do it like once a year. We haven't done it since COVID though, but we normally go to Bali. And we spend 10 days. So we do 10 days there. And it's 10 days of everyone throwing ideas together of each one's business, and everyone's helping everyone else. And it's absolutely, I get so much done in terms of strategy, even in my own business and stuff there. So definitely.
That is awesome.
Take the time. It is worth it. Yeah, definitely going to help you there. So, I mean, give us some tips here. Okay, we definitely need some travel tips here. What tips can you share, for the people that are watching this now and the people that are going to watch the replays, because I can guarantee you this is going to get a couple of hundred people watching this. They want to kind of leave with like, okay, I've got some tips to get started,
Basically,
get them excited about following you.
What we say all the time is that you've got to spend money anyway. You got to pay for food. You've got to pay for a phone. You've got to pay utilities, cable. You've got medical expenses. You've got all this stuff. You might as well get rewarded for what you have to pay anyway. So instead of paying cash or a debit card or a check like we used to pay for things, everything goes on a credit card. So we pay everything with a credit card. So we get points and miles that then we use towards free or nearly free travel. And the main way that we get those points and miles isn't from just spending on one credit card. A lot of people say, well, tell me which credit card to get. I'm going to put everything on it. We go after the bonus offers. So we are applying for a credit card that has a high bonus offer. Say right now, one of our favorite cards. Can I say this on this? I can, Alex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have certain rules we have to follow with certain credit cards. So it's
just on Instagram.
Yeah. So we love the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. It's our favorite card right now. It gets 100,000 bonus points that can then be used to transfer to use for hotels or airlines, certain hotels, certain airlines, ones that we really like. So you have to spend $4,000 on that card in 3 months. So we would sign up for that card. We'd spend our $4,000 on all those normal things that we usually spend anyway, but we're using that card. And once we've met that $4,000 spend, it's called a minimum spend, we're going to get that 100,000 points, plus we'll get the points for what we spent on. And at that point, we're starting to look for another card. We're not going to we're looking and we're going to say, okay, what's our next card? Well, I always fly United. I'm going to look at a United card. I'm going to look at a United Airlines card. And so we're constantly looking at a new card to get so that we get those points and miles. And with doing that, in the last 3 years or so, I've earned over
like 4 to 5.
Yeah, I've earned over 5 million points.
Wow.
And Alex has earned over 2 million. And we've had incredible travel experiences.
That is amazing. I mean, so how you got to keep track of all of these cards, all of these points. And when you go pay for something that takes points, you have to use obviously each different credit card to pay for that, to use those points.
You know what? Yeah, there's apps though for all of that.
Oh, is there? I didn't even know that. That's amazing.
And it makes it so easy for us. So yeah.
Oh,
there's an app for your points and there's an app for your cards to keep track of it all. So then it just makes it so much easier.
Oh no, that's lovely, because I can't imagine actually walking around with
20
or 30 freaking cards. But I must say, I'm also very guilty of not using my credit card to pay for stuff at all. It's like, well, here's my check card, swipe it down. There you go.
Never use debit cards. Never.
Because I constantly get offered, I get offered these credit cards from all the, especially in the States, because my business is obviously registered in the States, and I've got my personal tax also in the States and stuff. And I get all of these different credit card offers and I never take them. Like, I don't really need it.
You could earn so many points.
I know. I'm like, I'm going to bang my head against this wall just now. As soon as I switch this off.
You're missing out on a ton of free travel.
Oh, my word. No, I'm really kicking myself. So give me the top 2-3 lessons that you've learned from being an entrepreneur and starting this business that has really, that you could pass on to other entrepreneurs?
Go, Alex.
Well, one of the things that I had heard before that really stuck with me and still does is, and I've heard it a couple different places, but the only way that you're not going to succeed is if you stop trying.
I love that. Yes.
And so that was really big for me, because I'm like, when I started, I thought, okay, we could maybe be one of those people that, you see those people that have their online businesses that are super successful, have all these blog readers, they're just doing amazing things. And I was like, oh, that could maybe be us someday. Like, that'd be really cool. But, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but that would be really cool. And then, you're going year one, you've got 1,000 followers, a few hundred blog readers a day. And then year two, it gets a little bit better, but you're realizing, wow, I'm putting so much time into this and it's fun. And so I'm going to keep doing this because I enjoy it. And hopefully we'll get there, but I'll just keep trying. And eventually it should happen. And so I think that was really helpful for me, was just knowing that the only way I'm not going to make my goals if I stop. Like, and I've heard, like, that's the difference between people who make it and people who don't make it.
Definitely.
Is the people who make it are the people who keep going.
I can contest to that. I've had a lot of businesses, I've had a lot of failures, a lot of successes, and each time the successful ones were the ones where I just kept going, So definitely perseverance.
Yeah.
I love that. Any other lessons?
I think do something that you love. It's been easy for us, even when we're putting in longer days or times right now, because we love it. It's like a special language when you're talking travel hacking. You find somebody else who does it and you're just so excited because you're so enthusiastic about it. Alex's husband says all the time to me, he says, oh, Pam, I just love how excited you get about this. And it's because we love it. Because we have had such success personally in travel hacking that we are excited to talk about it. And so if you love something, if you find something you're passionate about, that makes it a lot easier to do a business and to have fun with it.
Oh, no, I can definitely agree with you on that one. I definitely love that. So what's that one thing, if you could choose one thing that you wish you knew before you started your business, that would have helped you?
Well, Alex,
Mom, go ahead. My internet just dropped out, and
I saw that you disappeared only for about 5 seconds, so it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, Mom, do you want to answer? Because I feel like I just missed a little bit.
the one thing that we wished we'd known when we started. Wow.
It's kind of a tough one because generally there's quite a lot. But it's kind of like, what's that one thing that you wish you knew that would have helped you actually succeed faster than what you have?
I'm having a lot of trouble with that, because I think that we, right from the start, even though we weren't having a lot of success, we were still getting points and miles. So we were still personally getting something out of it. So it was always something that we said over and over again, even if we don't get anything out of this more than just these, referral points, then we've been able to go on some great trips.
Oh, fantastic.
And we've been able to, it's like we're still in it. We're in it for the long run because we just love the fact that it has personally helped us to travel for free. And the knowledge that we've gained in setting up this business and learning about travel hacking has just been life altering for us personally. So it wasn't even like we had, we've talked a lot about it and said, yeah, we'd still keep doing that. We, even if we were just still
probably just wouldn't put as much time into it.
Yeah,
I think that's also what makes the difference, because those entrepreneurs, and I mean, I've interviewed a lot, and I've so many entrepreneurs, the guys that are growing and being really successful, are the people that aren't doing this. It's not about the money. It's about, I love this. I'm enjoying this. This is my passion. I can help other people, stuff like that. That's kind of the motivation. It's not about, first and foremost, how much money can I make per month? you understand what I'm saying? And that's what I pick up from the two of you.
Yes.
But definitely, that's not the motivation. The motivation is I want to have fun. I want to be able to travel, and
money now too.
of course, but that's the nice, it's number 2 on the list, right?
Yeah.
We would have kept doing this regardless.
And if the money stopped, we would still do it. We would just not put as much time into it, probably.
So let's talk about time. How much time do you actually put into this business every week? In terms of, would you say that you're spending 2 hours a day, 10 hours a day?
I think because we're on and off with the Instagram so much, because we really want to get back with the DMs, I'd say that, so that's kind of hard because you were kind of off and on throughout the day. But I would say on an average, we've kind of divided things up. I do the blog posts, I do the newsletter, and I do the Facebook. Alex does some of the blog posts, all the Instagram, all the TikTok. And so we probably have different amounts of time. I'd say right now I'm probably putting in 3 to 4 hours a day.
Oh, that's amazing.
I probably feel, I don't know, I feel like I work a full-time job, but I've also got a 1-year-old that's like crawling around while I do stuff. And so that makes it challenging.
Yeah, and it makes it feel
longer. Yes, because it's like everything takes double the amount of time
exactly.
when you have a baby there too. So I feel like I kind of work all day most of the time.
Fantastic.
Like I feel like I work a full-time hours pretty much. I'd say, I don't know, probably, I don't even know. I probably should keep track of that.
No,
but then I might.
So, if you haven't got an exact figure, don't throw it out there. You don't want to jinx this. So.
Yeah, exactly. Or if I do keeping track, of like, oh my goodness, I'm spending way too much time on this.
Okay. And have you ever used that? I mean, in the beginning, you said obviously you did a couple of courses to learn things, etc. Have you at any stage had any mentor or coach or something like that? Someone like that ever assist you, or that you've approached to help you with certain aspects of your business? I mean, I use the term mentor and coach loosely,
Yeah.
but someone that you've reached out to say, listen, I need some guidance, and help in that.
Yeah, I feel like we do in a sense, but I also feel like I feel like we've kind of mostly figured this out ourselves. And then when we have had a couple of questions, I do have somebody that I can reach out to, but it's more of a, more of a sounding board, and more of like, he reaches out to me about different things as well. And it's kind of a mutual.
100%. So, I mean, but you've got someone outside of the two of you that you can kind of like,
that we can bounce ideas
we're not
off
sure
of.
if this is a great idea. Can you, what do you think about this? And, someone that honestly give you that kind of feedback and stuff.
Yeah. And then I also have a lady who we purchased her Instagram course, and and I think part of what I've kind of learned from her was just being very, connecting with people on an individual level, because she has her Instagram course, but she really knows the people in her course.
Oh, wow.
And so she's very, like, if you ask a question on the Facebook group, it's not going to be a bunch of strangers answering your question. It'll be a bunch of strangers and her, or, in her DM, we talk through her DM. So she's been great as a sounding board of like, okay, this is kind of what I'm thinking for Instagram, something, how does this work, or working with brands and things like that. So that's been helpful too.
Fantastic. And I mean, one of the misconceptions with people is that success comes fast. What do you think? Does success come fast, or is it a long road?
It's a long road.
There you go. It's a long road. Yeah.
Maybe for some people.
Sometimes people need to hear it from other people that have been successful. You could say it to someone 1,000 times. They got to hear it from others. So thank you.
Yeah. You know what though? Like, I think it's some of it's about your timing too. Like, I have a girl that I'm friends with on Instagram now, and she just started a few months ago, and she's almost already got 10,000 followers because she's doing well with reels. And so I think a lot of it depends on if, I'm glad that we started when we did, and we've learned so much along the way. But I think somebody now starting would probably be able to grow a little bit quicker than we did because reels is around now.
Well, I think that applies to whether it's what is Instagram or business or even Facebook,
Yes.
etc. Because someone else has now been there, done that journey, and they kind of like, well, let me buy your course on how to grow to Instagram to 90,000 followers. Okay, and you're going to help me.
Yes.
It's not going to take me 2 years to do that or 3 years to do that.
Because you've
it's now
already
going to
done the
take
work
me
for
3-4 months because I'm learning from you. And I think that's kind of
Yes.
so that's kind of like the mentorship or whatever, or course, whatever you want to call it, that it helps people succeed faster, whether it's growing Instagram, growing your business, whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's why I don't feel like we have one huge mentor figure, is because I don't know anyone who has there's not a lot of women in our space. And if there are women in our space, there's not like very prominent women. And that's kind of why we decided why we wanted to do this, because we saw an opening of, hey, there's really not women in our space who are teaching specifically other women how to do this.
Yeah, I must say that I actually Googled to look at some of the other people that do it, and you're right. There's still, to this day, there isn't that many. I mean, there's a few, but not.
Yeah. So that's kind of our goal, is to kind of become. Hopefully, we could be the mentors for some people.
There you go. I love that. So let's talk about unrealistic expectations. Do you think that as an entrepreneur, often you set yourself unrealistic expectations or not?
I feel like we're pretty, if anything, set our expectations lower, so then we don't have disappointment.
I love that. I always put my expectations slightly low, because then I always impress myself.
Exactly.
Okay. So in terms of this entrepreneurial journey of yours, what do you think is that one or two things that's really made it worthwhile?
I think doing it together.
Yeah, that's been really fun. We talk every day, several times. I mean, we've always been close. I have 4 daughters and we're all close with each other, but it's been really fun to speak the same language, to be excited about the same thing, to just work together and, see this journey, flourish as it has. It's been just super fun.
I absolutely love that. I think there's so many people out there that envy that kind of relationship, being able to do that kind of business. So you're both very fortunate, in terms of that. So let's talk about what's next for Travel Hacking Mom. What's next?
So, I mean, my big time goal is for us to be the go-to source for women who want to be involved in travel hacking. So women who want to start, if someone Googles like points and miles women or something, that they know that we're the person to teach them how to do it, and that we are the community. Ideally, I would love to build a team that works with us, and the team is just women that work with us. So that's the goal, is to create a community for women to learn how to travel with their families. Exactly, yes.
We have a lot of men who follow us, and we're happy to have men follow us.
I was like, I was willing to put a wig on, but okay, and shave. Okay, don't have a shave.
Yes, so we just would love to just continue to grow and have this really strong knit community, and then have other women who want to do what we've done be part of our team. Women that write blogs, post for us, women that maybe want to start their own site where they're teaching people how to do this, and they would, get links for credit card links from us, so then we can help them, because if you're a smaller blog, you're not going to be able to get your own credit card links.
Yes, yes.
But some of the bigger blogs can, you can get your links from a blog instead of directly from, some of these other
That's
companies.
amazing. Yeah.
So that is kind of a big goal for us, is to be able to help other women start their points and miles type businesses and that kind of thing.
I like that. Now, do you see an exit strategy at any point? When will you say that, okay, we've had enough of this now. This is like, where we've reached our peak and, enough's enough now.
I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, like, okay, if somebody approached us, because this happens in our world where, the big guy might come out and want to, somebody might want to buy your site from you or take it over. At this point, we're not interested in that at all.
Fantastic. That's
I feel like we've just like scratched the surface, and we've grown very quickly in the last 6 months, that we feel like we're just getting started. And so we want to see what we can do with this. And then I'm like, what would we do with our time? This has become our life.
So true. You'll have so much time left.
Exactly. Especially for me being retired. I'm like, oh my goodness, keeps my mind working. It keeps me younger. It keeps my brain going. This has been the best thing in the world. I'm kind of a little bit type A, and just to be retired would drive me insane. So this has been great.
I love it. So before we close off, what's that for each of you? What's that one thing that you can leave with those watching and listening, that, just to inspire them to actually take action, to say like, hell yeah, I can do this too? For
me, I am heading towards 70. I'm in my late 60s.
Yo, you don't look it.
So for me, it's like, you're not too old. For women who out there that are older and think, I'm retired, I've got all this time on my hand, what can I do? I'm just going to sit around and watch TV. I've watched a lot of people that don't do anything. It's like, no, you can do whatever you want to do at any age. You are not too old to start something, and it will keep you younger. I
love that one. And for you, Alex?
Yeah, I would say, I think a lot of times we come up with ideas, or we think, oh, maybe I should do this. And I know I did that for a while with this. I was like, oh, there's already people doing this. Someone can learn it somewhere else. I would say, if you have something you're, stewing on or considering doing, just do it. Just start doing it. Stop thinking, what if, should I or shouldn't I? Just get going and do it, because you're gonna miss out on time where you could have, well, all the time you spend thinking about doing it, you could have already been growing your business.
I absolutely love that. So ladies, listen here, I want to thank you. It was really awesome chatting to you. Anyone listening afterwards or listening live on that, if you guys want to follow Alex and Pam, Travel Hacking Mom, please log into our membership area. All the links are there: Facebook, Instagram, if you need to connect with them via email, etc., and find out about their course and stuff. Feel free, go click on there and sign up and follow Alex and Pam's journey. And that I must warn you though, you're going to get very, very jealous looking at all the photos. So. I know I was. So Pam, Alex, thanks so much. It's awesome having you ladies on board, and really appreciate your time and chatting to us and inspiring some entrepreneurs.
Thanks.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Awesome. Have a lovely day further.
You too. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.